Blackberries are one of our most important commercial fruit crops here in Louisiana, and they're also a very important crop for home gardeners. They're one of our richest fruits in terms of vitamins and antioxidants, nutraceutical compounds, and they're very delicious. They have a nice sugar-acid ratio. But they are perishable, and one thing that we have to be cognizant of is the post-harvest shelf life and the post-harvest care. Now, we've been hearing a little bit about production practices, but one critical aspect of any berry crop, including blackberries, is proper post-harvest care, proper post-harvest management. The fruit are very perishable. They need to be harvested very gently and very carefully. When do we harvest blackberries? We have to let the fruit get entirely black. If there's any sort of purple druplet coloration, they call these little tiny individual sections druplets, and then there's many druplets that are joined together into a multiple blackberry fruit. This blackberry fruit that we're looking at now, it has some purple druplets. It is not ready for harvesting yet. Will take another day or two. We need to have the berry itself, the entire fruit, completely black, perhaps like in this berry illustrated here. They will not ripen after harvest. They will not improve in quality. So the entire berry must be black. If it's not, it's going to be very acid and rather sour. So make sure you harvest these things very carefully, very gently. They're very perishable. We typically would just take the thumb and 2 fingers, and we would gently remove the blackberry from the fruit. Not squeezing, because again, you're going to get damage of the druplets followed by post-harvest deterioration. So very careful, gentle harvesting. Touch it once, put it into a harvest container or a container that you might put in your refrigerator, and then try to begin the cooling process down to 32, 34 degrees Fahrenheit as soon as possible after harvest. If we harvest the fruit very gently, followed by immediate cooling to 32 or 34 degrees, we can get about 10 days of good market quality out of blackberries. In fact, many of the blackberries that we're getting in our stores right now do come from California, maybe even Mexico. We have a great potential here in Louisiana to substitute for some of those imported blackberries and produce more of our domestic blackberries here in the state. Very high value fruit crop. It's one that's increasing in per capita consumption. Another very positive aspect, we have new varieties now. Not only are they available in the springtime, like in April and May, but they're also available in the fall under the right cultural practices. So we can have nice, fresh, high-quality blackberries in September, October, and even November. This is very exciting. So we can have many months of fresh blackberry harvest here in Louisiana from a commercial standpoint and or a home garden standpoint. But let me say, because they are so perishable, the average rule of thumb is for every hour delay in the beginning of the cooling process, we lose 1 day of market life. So if we're picking blackberries like on a nice warm day like this where it's about 80 degrees and we delay the cooling for 3 hours, then we're going to lose 3 days out of those potential 10 days of market life. So definitely, if we want to maximize the edible quality, maintain that nutritional value, we should harvest the fruit very gently, very carefully, touch it just once, put it into its final container, make sure the entire surface is black, and then begin that cooling process down to 32 or 34 degrees as soon as possible after harvest. And then we're going to have a nice, long, 10-day supply of consistent supplies of high-quality Louisiana blackberries.